And we're back!
Hello!
Alright. And we're back here to continue on with the short stories, and this time we're going to a party!
Woo!
Party!
Party, ice cream party.
Oh man, October of 2012. Gosh, that was my
Ugh.
sophomore year.
Ugh.
I was 12.
You were
Nope.
12?
Oh,
Yes.
oh, of college.
wait,
I was like,
wouldn't you
no,
have been
we
turning
graduated.
13, because you're born in October of,
Oh, yeah.
of 99, right?
Yeah. I
Well,
was either
we're
12 or
our
13
number
this month.
I was 12.
Nerd.
Oh, I need a pseudo Carl.
So,
Congratulations, Seb.
Okay.
Carl, do you know where the keys are? I dig through my pockets again, but my fingers only raked the grocery list I made and some chump change from the soda I bought earlier. I brief hope. I guess that should have been a brief hope. A glimmer of salvation bubbles to the surface when I feel something metal and pointy. When I bring it out, though, it's just an old keychain I wanted at a fair and never bothered to take out. It still even got a sticker on it.
Didn't you leave them on your desk?
His voice is barely audible over what I can only imagine are the 10-year-olds he's playing his shooter with.
I thought I saw them on your desk.
I already checked. They're not. I open the closet drawer. It's filled to the brim with old comics, but still no keys.
Maybe they got thrown in the trash can by accident.
Why would... I rub the bridge of my snout. I'm in no rush to get out today, because the party won't start for an hour and a half at least. But I won't get anywhere without the car keys. Our dorm isn't the largest, but right now it feels like I'm trying to find a needle in the haystack. A haystack that's usually very well organized. As per usual, I blame Carl.
What do you...
I hear the sound of a rocket launcher going off. Carl follows up with a stream of swear words, the likes of which I haven't heard since we were 12, and hanging out with Flynn after school.
Call of Duty!
What do you need them for anyway? I got the groceries this morning.
Weed. You got weed this morning, Carl. I can smell it from here. I hear an awkward chuckle.
he found me up.
Groceries,
No,
weed,
it
it's
is.
same thing.
Healthy greens. Anyway, where are you going?
I scour another drawer, this one full of greeting cards. Old ones by the looks of it, congratulating Carl and me for getting into college. I flip over each one before shutting it again. I'm heading to Vincent's place, remember? I thought I told you. I lift one of the vases Marl... What now?
I was like, who's Vincent?
You're gonna find out.
Okay.
I lift one of the vases Carl's mom gave him when we left town.
You're actually going? I thought you said you were going to study tonight.
Nah, I got invited, and a couple of my friends will be there, so I'm going. I spot the keys and let out a sound which, once it's out of my mouth, I realize resembles a deflating balloon. They're right here, Carl. Jesus! They're sitting on the shelf right next to the TV. I pick them up. I almost feel like doing a little victory dance at this point. I've been looking for these damn things for a solid hour already. Carl's still as stone-faced as ever. I don't know if he's had weed or if he's just in a bad mood. Maybe both. I sit on the bed with him. It's a far more comfortable mattress than the ones that come with the dorm. I think Carl's parents had it special ordered when he left town. Carl doesn't tear his eyes off the game.
Dude, get off my back. I didn't mean to. Shit.
The round's over. The cacophony of voices that have served as the backdrop for our conversation abruptly dies out, replaced by the most generic orchestral music I've ever heard. Carl's got the worst score on the board. I don't even have time to say anything before he tosses the controller off to the side. It's a small miracle it doesn't break on impact, considering how hard he's tossing it around. I cross my arms behind my head and get comfortable. You alright, man? You seem kinda mad.
Eh.
Carl's hands go to the pockets of his ripped jeans.
I could be better.
Really? I absentmindedly draw a finger over the keychain of my car keys, the one with the picture of Leo on it. I think it's the first picture I've ever taken with my own camera. Carl notices from the corner of his eyes and playfully smacks my paw away, though it seems to remind him of something as he turns to me and opens his muzzle.
What are you holding up? The whole Leo thing going on, I mean.
By the way, Seb, you're very soft for some reason. Could you get a little closer to your mic?
Yeah, one sec.
Get it so far up that it's in your throat.
I mean, it doesn't need to be that close.
I don't think I want to fit that in my mouth anyway.
I had to ponder that for
it's
a
gonna-
moment myself. Leo doesn't cross my mind a lot these days, but when I do think of him, I feel empty, hollow.
Wait, what?
I mean,
Empty.
yeah, you don't need to hear anything from the Leo gallery.
Nope.
To the point where
You should think I think of you every day, Chula.
Alright, do I need to go into Discord and move you to another channel?
Please do.
To the point where I wonder, somewhere in the back of my mind, if leaving Echo has been the right choice. In the end, however, I shake my head to snap out of it, as I always do when asked about Leo. I've done it for my parents, I've done it for my friends, and I've done it for myself when looking in the mirror all alone late at night. It's better this way, you know? I mimic Carl's sitting position, thrusting my hands down my jean pockets. I smirk, inching closer to him. Besides, I got all the man I need right here. It's a poor way to lighten the mood, but Carl falls for it hard, making a mock face of disgust.
Ew, pardon, but I don't associate with no bears.
He does his best southern drawl. I snort. So those last, 9 years was just you letting me down gently?
Exactly.
He notices the way I'm sitting, shifts his legs around, and pulls his hands out of his pockets.
Glad you finally got it after all this time. It's a weight off my shoulders.
And here I thought we had something special. We laughed together, almost enough to make me forget about Echo for a moment. Almost.
These two flirt so much.
Yes.
I think like that's the thing for them is that like they were best friends since like about I want to say 8 years old. So like at this point like it's a decade-long relationship. They know that they can get away with like joke flirting. I think you even said for yourself, DJ, that you had like 2 like hetero life partner friends that
Yep.
basically like flirt
Yep.
the hell with each other.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. All the time.
Yes.
I could see this exact conversation happening, honestly.
Oh yeah. Sib.
So, this Vincent guy, is it a date or...
I roll my eyes. It's just a party. Jeez. Nothing's gonna happen.
If he tries anything funny, just give me a call.
Carl takes a long swig from the 2-liter soda bottle sitting next to him. It's almost captivating to watch him down it all in the span of roughly an hour. I think his record's at 45 minutes.
I'll come pick you.
He cuts himself off with a burp.
Pick you up.
There we go.
It's a 5-minute drive. I'll be fine. Thanks, though.
You mom made me promise to look after you. And
He slams the bottle down a bit too hard. Soda erupts in the bottle and stains his pants.
Well, fuck.
I laugh. Sounds like you need more help than I do. He wags a finger at me.
Shut it. You pass me the towel.
Don't want to come with? I toss him the towel hanging over the back of his chair. He invited you too.
Nah, you know me, Chase. I'm not good at parties.
He's vigorously rubbing at the stain, but won't come out no matter how much pressure he applies. Hell, I don't even think it's really drying. When he realizes it, he shoots me a pleading glance. There's just a little tiny hint of despair in his eyes. It's a look he's given me many times since we were kids, and I know exactly what it means. Nope, you're on laundry duty today, Carl. Remember? I fold my arms over my chest. And you're cooking tomorrow. I've got a lecture in the afternoon. Something about the importance of composition and photography. He groans and stretches.
Composition of photography? Sounds pretty interesting.
It is pretty interesting. I have one of the magazines sitting on the table. It's from a few months back, before we even got here. A layer of dust is starting to form on them. What about your classes?
Hmm?
The way he's looking at me, you'd think I said something offensive.
Like what?
I drag a finger through the dust, then bring it to my face. My palm pad's all gray now, and the dust my paws picked up is almost enough to give me a coughing fit.
I thought he was gonna lick it. I was like, please don't lick it.
No, Chase is not that type of weirdo. Your classes, how were they?
Oh,
He shrinks back into his seat, like he's trying to hide behind his hoodie. He finally just shrugs.
yeah, I guess. Not bad.
I raise an eyebrow. Just okay?
It's a business major, Chase.
He's given up on rubbing the stain.
Not much going on besides numbers, more numbers.
He snorts.
I don't even know how my mom can keep track of all of them. Numbers.
I chuckle. Almost sounds like college.
Maybe. I should have stayed in Echo. I'm not really cut out for this stuff.
I gently squeeze his shoulder. He pulls his beanie down to the point it's almost covering his eyes. I can see him nodding under there, I think. I let it sit there. I don't want to make Carl uncomfortable. His parents put enough pressure on him as is. Instead, I just put a hand on his shoulder. He leans into the touch, a smile appearing on his face again. He picks up the controller once more and starts a new game. He hastily points towards the second controller.
Still have time, right?
I look at Carl's pleading grin, then at my watch. Indeed, I still have another hour until I really need to leave, and I've already freshened up and everything. Before I even managed to grab the controller, almost tripping over the clothes and trash on the floor in the meantime, Carl's already started to match. The voices start up again, the accusations and shit-slinging abound already. I'm gonna be playing online?
Of course you're playing online. Bots are way too easy.
I thought we could just do a versus match or some. My character gets taken
2012
down.
COD.
What?
I'm feeling nostalgic right now. 2012 COD. I'm feeling nostalgic right now. All the like 12-year-old shit slinging that people did.
I like that because we literally have two of those 12-year-olds in this call now.
Oh my god, we do! Oh no!
I wasn't.
I
play this.
refrain from saying anything.
Oh god, I feel
Harrison was
I'm
definitely
gonna
one of
stop
those.
now.
I just need to know, did either of you shoot DJ?
Oh, probably a million times. I sucked at this game. It was so embarrassing. I would get killed by anyone I ever played with. Fond memories. Alright, I'm done.
My character gets taken down with a headshot almost as soon as I'm in. There's some shrieking on the other end.
Come on, Chase, get it together.
I'm not used to these controls. I played one of the older games in the series before. Mostly back in Echo, during the summer, when it was so hot you couldn't even go outside without spontaneously combusting. This one's got an entirely different control scheme, and I only managed to get a grip on it after dying a few times. If Flynn were here, I'm sure he'd have a jab already. I'm better at side-scrollers, you know. Actually, wait, that should be... I'm better at side-scrollers, you know. I get stabbed 10 times in the chest by the guy whose nickname leaves a lot to be desired. And fighting games.
Suck at fighting games too.
I grin at him. I do not suck at fighting games. I beat your ass last time, remember?
Only because you used the cheapest character and just kept spamming the same move.
Down B with Kirby.
See, I was actually thinking of a... What is it? Soul Calibur, with like this one character as like a sword attack where it's like just the side attack where you can just use that all the time and you eventually win. Do you know who I'm talking about, Seb?
I think I remember. I don't remember what his name is.
Fighting games make me irrationally angry.
That is not a word.
Irrational?
Irrational?
You said irrationally.
But yeah, you said rationally.
You know what? It's fine.
There we go. That's the Harrison response I wanted.
I made curry.
Nice.
Coconut chicken curry.
Ooh,
Ugh.
that's actually pretty cool.
I want...
It stings just a little, but he's in line now that I think about it. I remember reading somewhere that the character I use isn't allowed in tournaments because of how broken he is. Naturally, he ended up being my favorite. Didn't help that he was cute, too. Well, you could have dodged it after the 5th time I used it.
Seriously?
He takes another swig from his bottle. Some droplets fall on his hoodie.
That was a bullshit combo and you know it.
Somehow, I managed to land a headshot on the guy who killed me, and Carl lets out a war cry that sounds like a dying frog. A bit too soon, I stand out of cover for a bit too long, which earns me a rocket to the face from the player who was standing right next to the said guy. I swear through gritted teeth, but I persevere. After I get killed by a guy who's blatantly shooting me through walls, however, I just give up.
Cheater.
It's whatever, I guess. I shift on the bed, kicking up my legs. How about a couple levels in Claws of Destruction? I think I'm done with this one for now, if that's okay. After grabbing a granola bar from the kitchen cabinet, I'm finally on my way to the party. Only half my mind is actually focusing on the road. The other half can't stop grumbling about the heat. I probably should have put on something other than jeans. Maybe shorts? Or would that look silly? Vincent's place is near the other side of campus. It's a short drive, but in this heat, it feels like miles. My parents' old car doesn't have air conditioning. It'll make visiting them back in Echo torture if I ever do decide to go back there. Perhaps one day. For now, I'm pretty content where I am. Even though I've seen it on lot often, I'm always struck by how gorgeous the campus looks at sunset. Echo's got some nice views, but Pueblo just kicks it to the curb in every aspect. It looks exactly like what the brochures make it out to be, which I've heard is pretty impressive for a place like this. I'm just happy it's got indoor and outdoor pools. Who wouldn't be able to survive a week without those? Just driving in this weather is making me seriously long for air conditioning. There's a couple of cars on the parking lot in front of the building already. Mine looks out of place next to all the manure models. Then again, I suppose I'm a bit less affluent compared to most of the other students here, with their muscle cars and scholarships. Didn't stop me from getting in, at least. Some of the people I recognize from my class wave at me as I pass them. Others ignore me and keep on smoking just out of sight. Judging by the smell, it's weed. I shouldn't be surprised. People seem to be a lot more lax about that here than they are back home. It might be one of the reasons Carl's mom had him go to this university. It takes me a couple of rings to realize the doorbell's busted. Even longer to notice the tiny slip of paper stuck to the door telling me to go around the back. When I do, I'm met with the jovial grin of a wolf who already looks like he's had one too many. Vincent walks towards me, arms spread open wide. He's wearing a plain white t-shirt and the most casual shorts. Looks like I did put on too many layers. When I return the awkward hug he tries to give me, I can smell the cheap liquor on his breath. A far cry from the diligent student he usually is during classes. Alright, who wants to be Vincent, our classmate?
Who should be Vincent? Well, you know the characters, Alan. Who would you cast as Vincent?
Vincent, honestly, is a very minor role, so I don't remember much about him.
He's this guy hosting the party.
Yeah, So the thing is, Vincent's more characterized in fan fiction than he is in the actual story that he appears in.
Amazing.
Oh wow.
Like I've read multiple fan fictions that like make Vincent into like a potential love interest for Chase, but like literally none of that is here in the story beyond Carl insinuating that it might be a possibility.
Love it. So, and he's drunk right now, right?
Yeah, he's drunk.
I'll do it. Why not?
Okay.
Jeez! How are you, man?
Doing just fine, thanks. Nice party you got going on here. Lots of people. He chuckles, patting my back.
There's more inside! Way more! Come on in, I'll show you!
I follow him into the building, through some small hallways. I notice Jenna on the other end when we turn a corner. It looks like she's busy reading something. I call out to her, but it doesn't seem like she can hear me. Just when I'm about to try again, Vince tugs me into his room. Oh, well, who just got in?
It's Harry.
Ah, okay.
Unfortunate.
It's spacious, I'll give him that much. Busy too. There's tons of people in the living room area alone. Some of them are playing beer pong, others are chatting. Well, it's more like they're shouting to each other over the loud music. A girl from my class that I've been working together on a project with, Lana, sits in a corner playing with her phone. She's wearing a rather eye-catching, revealing red dress. One I'm pretty sure violates some university dress code. Sometimes she just giggles to herself.
Freeze. University dress code?
I was gonna ask. I don't
wrote
remember
this?
the college we went to having a dress
This
code.
is like a Christian... This is a public university too, right? It's not like a Christian college, right?
This probably is a public university. I would assume that there shouldn't be a dress code. I wouldn't be surprised if Chase thinks there's a dress code, though.
Aww. Chase, you little baby.
Remember, he's a freshman right now.
Aww. Chase, you baby. Yeah. There's a girl in a tiny red dress, and he's like, "Oh, people show skin in college."
Blasphemy.
I can't
I was about to
believe
say,
it.
I've seen individuals and things at the no place in particular that a little bit more than
Now,
a skimpy red dress.
I
or a
will
little
say
bit
there
less.
is a slight dress code for universities, but it's usually like a you gotta wear at least so much clothing type of dress
Well, that's
code.
only in class, right? They don't care what you do at a party.
Oh, well,
mean,
yeah, of
fair,
course.
but-
At a party, you can wear whatever the fuck you want. Unless, like, it violates something about the dorm rules. Like, I believe, like, there are some colleges where I believe you aren't allowed to wear something that's offensive. But, like, that's what it would be. It wouldn't be, like, about something that's revealing, typically.
Nope.
Now, you shouldn't be doing nudity. That's the thing that I was talking about earlier. Like, if you're basically committing nudity, then you're going and violating
That's-
university policies, typically.
Usually
Yeah.
that's violating the law
Oh,
in
of
public
course.
spaces.
Unless it's the 70s and you're protesting, then go right ahead.
I guess.
That's a thing.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I mean,
There
we are about 48 years away from the 70s again.
Oh, I'm going to talk about a place
Mm-hmm.
in particular because I'm really, really interested. Because I was told, you know that particularly large and confusing brick or concrete building that's in the middle of campus?
Are you
Oh,
talking
yes.
about the real world campus?
Yes.
Oh, that
Alright.
one! I love that.
So,
I hate that place.
yeah, let's not say the name, though, because
That's why
makes
I'm
more
that's
work.
why I'm not.
Alright.
I was told that was put there because of riots.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that building was built in the 70s because... Actually, I think it was built in the late 60s, and it was because of riots. They were trying to
Yep.
make it riot-proof. I
Yep.
think I'm the one who told you that.
This sounds about right. That sounds about right.
Yeah, it's the
I
really
just
long one
remember
that's like
hating
built,
that
split into
place.
3 different parts, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
And
and that
it's
has like
You
the inner layout is entirely way too confusing and unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
it
is a
looks
map on the
awful.
outside of the building, though. Literally, if you go to
Ah,
like, the
that's
middle
so
building, there was a
useful.
map there.
That's so useful.
Hey, look, I
As-
If you
use
know
that
how to read a map,
immediately.
it usually is.
Uh-huh. I gotta be with Seb on this one. I've never gotten lost in that building because I could read the map outside and just go there from there.
I only
got
joke
lost.
about getting lost in that building.
Yeah,
I got lost.
I
Well,
got
hold on.
lost twice in that building, and then I found a weird garden of statues and plants that was really beautiful. And then
That's
there was this
outside the
patio.
building.
Yeah, but not okay. Not just that, but I was walking around. There was just like a patio area in the middle
Yeah,
that nobody was allowed to go to because apparently it was like
that's...
it was restricted off because there was like a really bad bee problem of like hornets.
That
Oh
might
yeah,
have
I mean
been
that's because of
during
like
some
where
parts
we
of the
are.
area.
Like, there's a lot of those, unfortunately.
And I was like so confused about why it was even there. And it like it looked like it hadn't
reasons.
been maintained in 10 years.
I don't think it has.
Well, heck,
Well, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I remember before I even came to the university, I was helping someone else try to find classes because we live close to it, and and I think he had at least one, if not a couple, of classes in that building, and we're just desperately. And this is like my first, even though it'd been around, like that was probably my first time like that I could remember going in that particular building. It was just like I am just as clueless as you are on the
Yeah. At least that building has a map, unlike the building I have for one of the locations that I need to go to. I've gotten lost in that building many times.
But here's the good part. You'll never have to get lost in that building ever again now.
Why is that?
I mean, he's graduated.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I never got lost in the university building. The building I have to work for, though, that doesn't even have a map.
That's true.
So I just straight up get lost sometimes.
Alright. I'm gonna get back into the game now.
Fair.
When I catch her eye, she immediately puts it away and steps over to me. Who wants to be Lana?
Sure. Let's say, does Jenna have any lines, or?
I
Or
don't
she
think
must-
Jenna does.
Okay, alright.
Because
Yeah.
remember, like, Jenna and Chase, for some reason, they were able to go to the same college for about 3 years and just never talk.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting experience because I was also one of those kids that went from small town to big university. Actually, both for undergrad and grad school, and especially in undergrad, you hardly ever see the people that you know.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
especially if you are in the same major.
Well, it's like, well, heck, and people were studying different things than I was for the most part. I think there was one person I was able to see slightly more, but I think that was because they were also taking psych classes.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived very close to the psych building. It's like, hey! But yeah, otherwise, no. It's like I'd hardly ever see anyone that I knew from high school.
Oh yeah. To give like a comparison, I know like for where I graduated from, we had like multiple hundreds of students in each like graduation class, and so by the time like I did go to the university that we all attended in one way or another, I never saw any of the other kids that went to that place with me, except for one, because he and I had, like, were friends before everything, and were deliberately seeking each other out throughout, like, the school year. But even then, I saw him maybe, like, 30 times total throughout the entire school year. And that was because I literally would seek him out to do that, though.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, that's totally a legit thing.
Because, yeah, otherwise I just never ran into him, because he was in geology and I was in psychology, so, like, we had no overlap.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I actually had more... I think graduate school, I actually saw more people more frequently from high school than undergrad. Yeah. And I don't know if it's just a smaller campus or what. Well, actually, the square footage-wise, it's...
I would say
similar
it's also
size.
because, like, it's closer to, like, your hometown, you know?
Yeah. That probably
In
has
comparison.
something to do with that. But yeah.
Gee.
Alright, so I'll go on ahead and
Mhm.
voice the character. Right.
There you are, Chase. It's not like you to be this late.
I think I had said the line.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
she did.
we're back from cutting away.
Okay.
She grins from ear to ear, displaying her almost eerily white teeth. I lean against a wall, eyeing the crowd from a distance with her. I had trouble finding a good parking spot. How was the party? Anything crazy going on?
It's been pretty routine so far. We're just getting to the good part.
She smiles, tipping her muzzle toward a table.
The drinks are over there.
The good part? Next to me, Vincent nods, then tilts his muzzle towards the kitchen. His ears perk up.
Lana and I want to get out. Lana and I went out to get something special for the guests.
Part of me already knows what it's gonna be. Probably booze or something. From what I've heard, it's what college parties are all about. I don't know. This is my first one I've ever been to. Something special, huh? What is it?
You'll see.
No,
No.
that's fine.
Nope.
You'll see.
She grabs her phone again, tapping away on it like she's writing a novel.
It's going to be good.
I kick back and enjoy the party for a bit. This good thing sounds pretty questionable, even more so once Lana disappears into the kitchen and returns before returning with a big silver tray. She passes it from person to person, everyone taking something from it. I try not to think about it too much. By the looks of it, it's not just the usual party snacks. It takes her a while to get through everyone, so I just grab a can of soda from the
Does he, like,
cooler on the table.
not know what a Jello shot is?
It is not gonna be a Jello shot, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
It's an off-brand.
Nah, they're making brownies.
I guess the booze is more important. Finally, Lana thrusts the tray in front of my face with the widest of smiles. Her enthusiasm only leaves me disappointed when I find nothing but blueberry muffins.
Oh no.
Never mind.
Blueberry muffins that smell kind of funny, like they've been out for a few days already.
Oh no.
Don't take it, Chase.
It's like those cakes Janice tried selling at the diner a few years back. I scratched the back of my head. They're just muffins. What's the big deal?
Oh, Chase, baby. Is he really this innocent?
Chase is like only 18, and he's been from a small town his entire life.
Dude, that's someone who also relates to that. I can tell you, we were that innocent.
I'm... Oh, baby.
I mean, I'll give you this as a comparison. If I had experience with drugs in high school. I didn't use anything myself, but I had like people literally trying to sell me drugs in the back of my bus in my high school.
Oh,
my
really?
God.
Yeah, but I would not have been able to recognize tampered desserts that easily when I was in college, my first year. I would not have been able to.
I guess people knew me well enough to, like, not even offer me stuff is basically what happened. They knew I was baby, and they knew not to hurt baby. So, like, when I went to parties, they were like, you don't want to drink, do you? And I was like, no, not really. And they're like, okay, this is alcohol in it. You should know that.
A large lion with a long braided mane pipes up from behind her. This should probably be you, Seb.
What? Oh,
Okay.
hold on. Special recipe, man. They're edibles.
I've seen the lion around on campus before, but I don't think I know his name. Just his face. Think he's in Carl's class? Like, drugs?
Oh, jeez. Don't
Take-
hurt me.
I take one of the muffins from the tray and bring it up to my nose. Up close, it just smells awful. I narrow my eyes. You better not be pulling a prank on me.
No prank. You should try one, Chase.
No, thank you.
She grins at me. She seems honest enough. Not that I think she's trying to poison me. Now that I think about it, Carl told me about edibles once. About a year ago, I think? Time's been ticking way too fast ever since I graduated from high school. I can't remember what he told me about them specifically. Something about not being able to get high from them? Then again, Carl's probably used to stuff that's a lot heavier. Around me, people are already popping them in their muzzles like it's no big deal. This probably isn't a prank, then, unless they laced just one of them and it's some kind of weird Russian roulette but with muffins kind of thing.
Oh no.
Should I do this? I mean, I promised my parents I'd try and be responsible while away from home, but I don't think this would hurt. If it does, I can always just leave. Everyone's eyes are on me when I stick it in my mouth. This peer pressure makes the fur on the back of my neck stand on end. It's not as gross as I expected it to be, at least, thank God. I can still taste a bit of blueberry in there. The weed part, though? Well, I've never used weed, so I don't know what it tastes like. If this is it, it's nothing special. Hell, I don't even feel anything. Lana sets the tray down on the coffee table. A sheep sitting on the couch takes a muffin from it as soon as she leaves it alone.
How is it? You okay?
I shrug my shoulders and drink my soda. I don't really feel anything.
Oh,
Her
jeez.
lips stretch into a thin line, and she looks down at the tray again with a frown.
Huh.
The lion speaks up again, taking a swig from the beer bottle he's holding.
Maybe it wasn't all that strong.
I sure as hell felt it when I ate mine. Maybe he's just immune to it or something.
So here's the thing I'm gonna point out. If you have edibles like weed, they don't impact you for a while.
Yeah,
They're
let's
expecting something that's a lot more immediate.
Yeah, that's so with
Yeah.
edibles, they don't impact you for a while, and suddenly they hit you hard, because a lot of people will like, oh, I don't feel it, oh, I don't feel it, oh, I don't feel it. Bam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're all talking about how they felt it when they ate it. So they
Probably
didn't
what's gonna
give
happen to
him
her.
weed. I shake my head. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Maybe it just hasn't kicked in yet. Vince gives my back a smack.
Maybe. Didn't think you'd be such a heavyweight, Chase.
I'll take more than one!
It's a compliment I don't know how to take. It's a compliment I don't quite know how to take, or even comprehend. In fact, even standing feels difficult to grasp at the moment, and I find myself wobbling on my feet once he pulls back his hand. My
There you
head
go.
doesn't even begin to describe it. Dizzy, nauseous.
Oh, that's not weed.
About to barf. That's a more apt description.
Oh no, Chase.
I stumble back and forth
What
to
a
keep
great
myself
move.
upright.
Yeah, get this guy.
What?
That's not how the did they that's not weed.
It is not weed.
Weed doesn't make you like,
Jeez.
Probably psychobills.
Oh no, Chasey Poo.
Shrooms.
I stumble back and forth to keep myself upright, trying to cling to the nearest flat surface, but it doesn't really help. The ground is moving underneath my feet. Where there were 2 people before, I now see 4, swaying from side to side as everything spins around me. It's like I'm out on a raft in the middle of the ocean. 20 minutes into the party, and I'm already completely out of it. This is probably setting all sorts of party records. Is this what being high feels like? What the hell was in those things?
Shit. Chase!
I recognize her voice, but when I turn to look at Lana, she's just a blur. A featureless blob of red and white, ever shifting.
Chase, are you okay?
What's wrong with him?
Someone's tugging at my arm. Gravity's currently working against me in every possible way.
Hold on. Come on, get up.
The moment I let go of that cabinet, I fall to the floor. Any moment now, I'm gonna sink through it. Or I'll end up, I don't know. My head hurts. My stomach hurts. The empty muffin liner is on the floor next to me. I can still make out the pink frills.
Someone call 911.
The despair in her voice is almost palpable. She's taken hold of my wrist. My hand just flops around once she moves it.
Get arrested? Fuck no.
Fucking shit. I don't know what to do. What do I do?
I want to comfort her. Tell her that I'll be fine, even if it's a lie. But no sound comes out of my muzzle. I try and sit and push myself off the ground, but my back just ends up hitting the floor again, followed by my ass. I hope I'm not being filmed right now. I just lay there. With my brain and body in complete disarray like this, there's no way I'm getting up anytime soon. And despite the screams, despite the loud music, despite everything, I feel my eyelids grow heavier and heavier. The world goes dark before my very eyes, and the last thing I think about before I'm out like a light is how comfortable the cold floor is. I don't know who this is.
My guess is Carl.
Maybe? I can't remember.
Could be Jenna. She's also at the party.
I don't think it was Jenna, though. Also, DJ, I'm gonna just recommend you blow your nose. Look, each time you sniffle like that, it's caught on mic. I'm letting you know.
I know. I don't even realize it. That's the worst part.
Except for that last bit of
that last
sniffling.
bit was
Well, I know those ones were on purpose.
Those were
The thing is,
intentional.
I will let you know, like, other people do it too sometimes, and like I let them know too. Like, Sam, you remember what I used to tell you all the time, right?
It's annoying
Yeah.
me more than anyone.
Yeah,
Well,
or when I would snore and you're like, Sam.
I will try.
It's okay. It's okay. I just wanted to let you know.
I appreciate
So, for now, Seb, you should probably just
Sure.
do this because it might be one of your characters.
Alright. Jace!
I return to the land of the living with a long gasp for air. The scent of very strong coffee fills my nostrils. As soon as I realize I have control over my body again, I thrash in the sheets, which only leaves me tangled when I settle down. My breathing is still harsh, uneven, but I'm okay. I'm okay. Sheets. I'm in a bed, not on the floor. My paws shoot up to my eyes. I rub them before opening them. There's quite a lot of gross shit in them. I've probably been out for quite a while. I can only imagine how bad I must be reeking right now. I'm still wearing the clothes I was wearing last night, too. Fuck. The clock says just past 9. How I managed to get back here, I have no idea. When I try to think about what happened last night, my head just starts hurting more. Carl waltzes in like no one's business. wearing nothing but pajama pants that look a few sizes too big even for him. There's a piece of toast in his mouth and 2 mugs of coffee in his paws.
Oh, you're up. Here, I make coffee.
I can see that. Thanks, though. He sits down next to me, exhaling through his nostrils, just eating his toast. He made rules about only eating at the table, but right now, I'm just glad to be awake and in good health. I speak up once my mug's half empty. So what happened? How did I get back here? Carl noisily swallows the last bits of toast.
Well, a few guys and one girl dropped you off here like a few hours after you left.
A shitting grin slowly spreads across his face.
You were completely zoned out, man. Talking about random shit and giggling like a kid. It was kind of funny to watch.
I glare at him and fold my arms.
Yep.
I'm sure it was. I'm honestly just glad that all I got from it was a headache. I might not be invited to future parties, but I'd rather have that than end up dead because I couldn't handle a muffin.
Got you some water, put you in bed.
He takes a large gulp of coffee and chuckles.
See? I can be responsible sometimes.
Sure. I set the mug down on the nightstand and wipe the rest of the sleep out of my eyes. God damn, I feel terrible.
So, your turn to answer my question.
He tucks his legs in like a kindergartner.
What happened last night? Did you really get drunk
Or...
you know...
He mimics taking a drag from a cigarette. No! My shaky, utter denial is not the most convincing, but Carl doesn't seem to pick up on it, thank God. Hell no. I just had a couple too many, that's all.
Even if you did try some, fur off my back. I mean, look at me. I'm past just a little experimenting.
I felt quiet. It's a bit awkward to admit to doing something I used to tease Carl for, especially when I fainted almost immediately after trying it. Maybe I'll tell him later. Preferably when we're done with college, so it'll just be one of many escapades. I do hope future escapades won't leave me feeling this much like I got hit by a train, though. I finally sit up. God, my back's stiff as ever. What have you been up to while I was out?
Studying, believe it or not. That and laundry.
He stacks the 2 cups and stands up.
Watch your stuff too. Should be done by the time you're done with your shower. You got a lecture to get to, right?
Oh shit, yeah, the lecture.
That was a weeknight.
Yeah.
Lols.
Well, it might even have been Sunday, so...
Lols.
I bury my face in my paws and rub my temples. I should be able to make it if I hurry. Looks like I woke up just in time. And surprisingly enough, I have Carl to thank for it. Hey, Carl? He turns around, nearly dropping one of the coffee mugs. I shoot him a smile. Thank you. Want to play some more Claws of Destruction when I get back?
You're on.
Aww.
That's cute. Well, not the drug part, but...
Well, it seemed like they didn't even intentionally drug him.
Yeah, it's like, how did they accidentally give him something that gave him that much of a trip?
So before pot was legal, like now we're so used to pot being legal, but like before it was legal, people would like do bad shit to it.
Yeah,
So,
they
like,
would lace it with a lot.
Like people would like lace stuff with it and like.
Oh,
As
yeah.
somebody who went to a classy high school, yeah, no, you would lace, they would lace weed with, more, not dangerous, but addictive solutions. That's why it was called a gateway drug, is because they would quite literally lace it with other stuff. Which is why one of the first things most of my friends did was, find a respectable and honest individual who locally sourced all of their things from California.
Well, any thoughts about Chase and his little party escapade before we move on to the next story, or maybe Pippin tonight?
In a weird way, I think Carl is Chase's best friend. Like, of all the friends.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I mean, they even do call each other best friends. I would say, though, that friendship doesn't hold up after the distance that they've had. But when they are talking with each other, their friendship does shine through. Like, you even get to see, like, Chase is definitely, like, the straight man to Carl's, like, kind of comedy bit, in a way.
Yeah.
So, like, Chase and Carl definitely have their dynamic. They can get along with each other. But they're also the types where, if they're not talking, neither of them feel compelled to find the other and get them to talk to them again. Yep. Even though they both definitely like having each other in their lives. So it's very easy for them to drift, from what I've seen. Okay, Sam?
I got a wub! He's a wub.
Okay.
That's her thoughts.
That's
my thoughts.
That's a constant state of being, I think, for Sam, but whatever.
Wub, Marvel, or Sanji. One of those three.
If you're ever in a party, don't just randomly accept the gifts. Ask
Peer
what's in
pressure
it first.
It's not a good thing.
What the fuck did you lace this shit with? Weed?
It's
What else? If the answer's then don't.
Do not only do it if you want to, but be safe.
Weed is the thing.
Be safe.
I mean, my other stance on this is, if you don't want to do drugs at all, like, you can also just say no to drugs.
No thing.
Like, and I'm
Exactly.
Not saying, and I'm gonna just say, like, it doesn't even have to be like the stupid like DARE program thing of like say no to drugs because it's gonna ruin your life. No, fuck that. Some like weed and everything can be fine, but if you're not into it, you're just not into it. Just say that. You're good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the fact that DARE made more
bad for me.
Speaking of the fact that it was proven that DARE made more people do drugs than less,
oh yeah,
probably not the best example to give.
Exactly. Oh yeah, no, trust me, I am not a fan of DARE. I actually failed DARE the first time I did it, and then I never. Oh yeah, no, I failed DARE. I didn't do the paper that the police officer wanted me to do.
I'm glad that I never had to do a paper.
Yes, we didn't have to do that either.
Okay, so I'm gonna just say, in comparison, I had versus version. And so I had to do in 5th grade in 6th grade. So the 5th grade one, they required that you did a paper, but I was really bad until honestly high school. I was always bad doing long-term projects because I just couldn't focus on them that long. So like they were like, yeah, you got this paper and it's due at the end of the semester. I'm like, oh cool, so I'm just not gonna do it. Thanks.
Yep.
And so only myself and one girl who transferred in the middle of the semester failed DARE that year. And they forced us to sit in the cafeteria at a separate table where we were the only 2 kids in the back of the cafeteria while we watched all the rest of the 5th grade walk up on stage and get acolytes and be told, oh, you're great, you've passed DARE, you're going to be drug-free for your life. Well, me and this girl, whose name was like Michelle, she was like one of the people who eventually became like my best friends in Texas. She and I were just like sitting there like, cool, so I guess we're like the druggy burnouts here. And knowing me, it's hilarious that I failed DARE.
It is kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I will say, like, while I'm really cool with, like, other people doing drugs, I'm very tight-ass about myself. That's why I said, like, if you're not into it, you're not into it. It's cool. You don't have to do drugs.
Yeah.
But, my god, DARE is stupid.
I remember... This is a fun one. I remember... like, the very, very tail end of DARE. Like, I was just old enough to be in one class when I was, like, really, really young. And then it just, I remember it just, like, not being a thing anymore and nobody talking about it.
Yeah,
so
was
it like, did you only have the police officer come in once? What do you mean by, like, one class?
No, like one... Actually, I think it was. I think it just came in once and talked about it.
Okay.
and with the DARE
Yeah,
program.
Dare was a thing for like 2 or 3 years when I was in grade school at the very
Yeah.
beginning, and then I don't think we did it past 4th grade. As it just
Yeah, because when did DARE end?
It was probably around that time, because that would have been roughly like the, let's see here, doing my math here, that would have been the mid-2000s for you two, late 2000s.
I
late 2000s.
remember I think I was like in the 3rd grade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the thing is, honestly, by the early 90s, they were getting evidence that it was not working, but there was so much public support for DARE to be a thing that they just kept pushing until eventually it collapsed in on itself. I think like around 2000 is when they like eventually went, oh no, this thing is fucking terrible. And the evidence was too much, and so they started pulling back. But it was still in full swing by the time I got it in like 2000, I think I got it in 2003 and 2004. Yeah, if I'm doing my math right.
I remember literally it was like, I do remember it was there, but like they sat us down in the auditorium and had this guy come in and talked about it, and then they handed out pencils. And they were like, say no to drugs. And like, and then it was like, then that was just it, and then it was never talked about again. Like none of the teachers, nobody brought it up. Nobody, not even the students cared enough to like, oh, maybe this. Like it was like, the entirety of the intelligence that went into that was, oh, cool, we got like 2 class periods off. Awesome. Yeah, and that was it.
For me, like it was supposed to be like you did it like once a week for like 8 weeks or whatever. So it was like this continuous disruption to like classes. And you were supposed to like start writing a paper starting like week 4, and it was due until like week 8 back at least. And my God, I love that, like genuinely I failed because I was like, I don't feel like writing anything. Like you were supposed to write about why you would remain drug free.
You didn't write a promise about why you wouldn't.
Yeah, because I didn't feel like doing that. It wasn't even a class. It wasn't a project. You don't give me homework for fucking bullshit that you fucking volunteered me for. I didn't sign up to be in DARE.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think for DARE, it was probably more, for our school, it was probably more similar to like what Harry was describing, because I really don't remember having a separate class for DARE.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in 7th, I think it was 7th and 8th grade, we did something with like the community college, where it was like, we had somebody come in and like, we talked about like life things, and part of it was like, here, you're gonna write an abstinence essay.
Was that in DARE?
That wasn't in DARE. It was a different program. But yeah, no, you're gonna write an abstinence essay, and I mean, and granted, I was one of the people whose essays were picked
you're a
to
valedictorian and you
travel.
win shit all the time.
Oh
I
man,
never won shit.
Hannah, you're reminding me of how I got slut shamed in health class now.
Sorry.
I'm pretty certain I've shared that story before with everyone here.
Alan, you got slut shamed?
Oh, good. Somebody didn't know this story yet.
Ooh, I need to hear this.
Okay. So, I got slut shamed in my health class, and the way that it worked was, basically, they did this exercise where everyone got a cup of water, but as it turns out, 2 of the cups were spiked with a chemical that if you added another chemical to it would turn the water like bright pink or whatever. My favorite thing about this is, before I get into the story about how I got slut shamed from this, my favorite thing was one of the students saw the cup of water on his desk and immediately slammed it down, and we all watched as the teacher just sat there for a moment thinking, and we didn't understand why the teacher was thinking for a moment until after the fact, and we realized he was trying to calculate if he had accidentally poisoned a student or not.
Amazing.
And he just was like, you're probably fine, because he didn't interrupt anything, despite the fact this kid literally took the paper cup and just slammed it all down before the teacher could say anything.
He just looks, he's like, okay.
So in fairness, I'm a teacher and I have a lot of moments like that where I go, what did you just... click, click, click. Eh.
But yeah, so each kid got then a card next to their water, and it was telling them to follow certain instructions. So like some kids was like, oh, swap water with 10 other people, or swap water with no one. Mine was swap water with only the other person who has this card. Or sorry, it didn't say only. It said swap water with the other person who has this card. So we were then allowed to get up and start swapping water with people. And the thing was, because mine did not use the word only, I went with the mentality of, oh, I'll swap water with that person eventually. I'll just swap water with everyone, and eventually I'll find that person. Because that is correct. I would have eventually found the person that way.
That is true.
And they did not write the word only on the instructions, when that's what they were trying to do.
So you eventually found your final partner, but till then.
Until then, I was swapping water with anyone who asked. And so then when we got like had to have like him go and see if our water turned pink or if it remained clear because we were pure. My water turned fucking pink, of course it did. And the teacher was like, and you had the monogamy card. You weren't supposed to do this, and you might have gotten your partner infected too. I watched as you swapped water with everyone. And I just sat there looking at him like, really? Really? Me? I'm the one you want to tell is spreading my legs too much.
You had the monogamy card. I watched as you swapped water with everyone.
And I'm gonna just reveal this to the internet. I am 29 years old right now, and I am still a virgin, and I am perfectly fine with that. And my god, I still love how stupid that teacher was.
You should find that teacher and be like, I'm still a virgin. How am I swapping water now, bitch?
Oh no, it was a male teacher. I remember that. I don't remember his name
Oh, you
anymore.
can still call a guy a bitch.
Sure, you know, you're right.
Better bitches.
We are equal opportunity. You can call bad name callers.
Yeah, non-discriminatory.
Exactly.
As long as I can call all people my guy, I'm fine.
Seb, now you've given me the idea of like going up to a friend and going, "Hey, how you doing, my bitch?"
I want you to do that and tell us the report afterwards. Be like, this is how my experiment went. It was a failure.
It was not a good idea.
We should walk up to each other and be like, "Yo, bitch, what up?"
Yo, bitch, what up?
Yo, bitch.
This is exactly how
come out.
This is good.
I'm now wanting to like redo like all like these like kind of like nice like phrases and everything, but like swap a word out with bitch. So like, you know, like the song "You Are My Sunshine." I want to be like, "You are my sun, bitch."
My only son, bitch. Actually, that song is how I say, "You are my whoop shine, my only whoop shine."
Oh, you gotta change shine to bitch now though.
Yeah.
Whoop bitch.
Well, bitch.
Bitch. Oh, you're not a bitch. You're a baby boy.
Off the fucking rails, man.
It always does. It's what? It's like 10 my time, 9 your guys' time.
Yeah.
Where I
It's too early for me to go fucking off the rails, man.
Alright. So any last thoughts about the party before we actually call this episode?
Nope.
Take drugs only if you want to and you feel safe doing so.
Yeah. And like, do ones that are okay. Like, don't do anything hard.
Don't get addicted to stuff, that's bad.
Yeah. Yeah, avoid like hard drugs. You don't need those in your life. All that fun stuff. So
Hey, you don't want to join
Everyone
drugs,
needs to
you're a
wub.
cool, awesome person.
Yeah.
We still love you.
Everyone needs. Don't they wub?
alright, say bye everyone.
Bye-bye.